In this episode, I want to share with you my 10 lessons that I wish I had learnt 10 years ago. And this is because I've very recently turned 40. So this episode is for anybody in their 20s, their 30s, and actually in their 40s, because we can all learn from each other, can't we? But as you know, if you've been a listener to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast for a little while, you know that at the end of every guest episode, I always ask the same question: what do you wish you knew now? No, hold on. What do you wish you knew 10 years ago that you know now? And I thought, I've never answered that question in over 3 years and 286 episodes. Well, 285, because today is 286. I'm going to share mine. So I thought that would be a good one, wouldn't it? Heading into 2025, as well as celebrating the fact that I've just turned 40. So these are 10. I'm going to get straight onto it because there's no fluff in this episode. We need to get going. Number one, I wish I had known 10 years ago how specific you need to get with your plan when you have a business. Now, I'm not talking about having a massive business plan or anything really like, I want to say posh or professional or rigid. Rigid is what I want to say. I don't want you to think about having these targets and plans to be really rigid and you have to have this massive document. I want you to know, and even more importantly, how you want to feel, what you want to see, for what the point of all of this hard work is. And going forward, it's so important to get real specific on that so that you can make a plan and take action. And it's really important as well to have money goals for your business, but not have that as the sole key performance indicator or KPI. You might have heard me say about KPIs before. Don't only judge the success of your life on how much money your business is making, because that is completely extrinsic, and therefore your doubt is going to get really loud if those money goals are not showing you what the success or the success that you're actually feeling. There's going to be some times when you feel more successful than what your business is currently showing you. And that's because potentially you are showing up more, you have better ideas, you're networking, you're engaging with your audience in a better way, you're putting the work into the foundations in order to grow a huge and sustainable business. And the money's not there yet. So make sure you get really specific about how you want to move forward with your business. I wish I had known this. I wish I had been more hot on this than I am now. I'm much hotter on this now. But if you haven't got specific goals and plans or dreams written down and you know where you're heading with it, one goal for 2025, January, get it done. Number two, I wish I had known 10 years ago that doubt is just noise. Doubt and fear are there to block us from our true potential. And I think it's really important how we can misinterpret. I want you to become aware of how you can misinterpret those feelings of fear and doubt as inadequacy when actually it's just your courage kicking into gear. And for us to grow, for you to grow into your next level, into that person that you are becoming, you have to go through a period of growth. You have to be able to stretch yourself and your capacity to let all of that new business come in so that your business can support and be shared with more people. If you haven't got things in place to stretch that capacity, then that capacity is not going to happen. It's just not going to be there. So you have to get really scared in order to stretch it. Doubt is going to get loud when this happens because you're doing something unfamiliar. This is not about everything everything feels really good in the moment before you do it. It doesn't. That's the messy middle. But I wish that when I was frozen with doubt, when doubt was really like stopping me from, and this was before I was even, I was still working in employment, but how I would show up, I would feel so scared of being myself and I would doubt that I was enough for that. Or like, I wish I'd known it was just noise. And actually, when we say doubt, thanks very much, whatever you name your doubt, thanks very much. But my dreams are so big and I don't need you getting in the way. I'm just going to ignore what you're saying, or you listen to it in a way that's, is that useful to me? If it's not, leave it to one side. and then keep moving forward. So doubt, I wish I'd known. Doubt is just noise. Number 3, I wish I knew 10 years ago how to be truly grateful for the tough stuff. Now, 10 years ago, I just turned 30. I was definitely in a very different mindset to what I am now. I've said this many times that my journey to the mindset and the confidence that I have now has been a tough one. I have put in the work. Like, I've worked really, really hard for where I am right now. This is not an overnight success. This is years of daily work, and I still do the daily work. I always, every single day, do the daily work. But 10 years ago, I don't think I would have recognised even the stuff that was coming out of my mouth. I wanted you to come to my pity party every goddamn day. Like, I would moan all of the time. I would whinge about how life was so tough for me, how it had been so tough, get my little violin out, play you a happy or pity tune so that you would come to my party so you feel sorry for me, because that was my identity. My identity was victim mode. But now I've been, like, tough stuff happens, and now I can just feel really grateful for it. And I know, like, I can feel shit about it at the same time as grateful. But I just believe that if I'm going through something really challenging, there is something better coming. Now, there's a caveat to this, obviously, because even the bad things, even really tough things that happen to all of us in our lives, there's going to be a moment where you're like, no, that's actually really fucking shit. I don't want to feel grateful right now because that feels horrible. And I get that. But there is a point of time, I hope, for everybody that they get to and think, that's really, 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 really horrible. And I'm grateful for it because I've become the person I am today as a result. Now, there are certain things that I'm just going to exclude from this. And I'm not going to say those things because I think it's quite evident the things that you can exclude from that. Death of a partner, maybe maybe, I don't know. I'm going all over the place now because as soon as I start talking about death, my experience of losing people is obviously very different to yours because it's also unique to each other. Even when, like, I look at my sisters and my brother, we've lost the same thing, but we deal with it differently. But I must say, like, I am grateful for my dad dying, because though it's really, really sad, for those of you watching, I'm just going to show you a quick picture of my dad. There's me and my dad when I was 7. And I talk about him all the time because it's like then he's living on. But I think, God, what my life went through ups and downs and was really horrible. And look at what I've done. So what would I be the same person without it? I don't think so. I know I wouldn't. So I actually wrote something really personal in an email out to my mailing list yesterday. You may have received it. And I literally have only told my mailing list, and I'm only telling my mailing list. I feel like people that sign up to my emails, they're special. They get special treatment, and they get an even bigger slice of the behind the scenes of how I'm running my businesses and my plans and stuff like that. And I had a voice note from a client that was working with me. She's actually coming back in the new year to work with me again. And she just said, I'm really, like, I feel like I'm grateful for that shit that's happened to you because it's made you so fucking great. I was like, oh, thanks, babe. It's like exactly what I needed to hear, you know? But anyway, I wish I'd known more how to be grateful for the tough stuff, because I think I would have realised it was the making of me. And any challenging stuff that comes now, like, there's, I'm in NASA mode for the business, and I will do a whole podcast on what NASA mode means for me and how it can help you in your business. But this getting into NASA mode, I had to be in that situation to become the CEO that's going to take this business to the next level. Without those challenges, it wouldn't have happened. Number 4. Do you notice I've made notes because I keep looking down? I know it's like, for some people that have, like, oh, we'll see. If you're listening, you don't even watch, but now on Spotify you can watch and listen. And I've just, made notes. getting all organised. Literally, like the shittest handwriting. It's funny, I can't even read it. Anyway, number 4. I wish I'd known 10 years ago that you can sell every day and it's okay. Like, I think some of the people inside the Vivid Business Club, I do like bang on about this, but they feel worried about selling in their business every day, but they're a business. So people that follow you on Instagram understand that you're running a business, and so that, you're selling. Now, as long as you have some value added into there and some entertainment, if you're product based, there's maybe some making videos. If you're service based, there's value. Obviously, like, I'm giving a shit ton of value today in this episode, so I give this all to you for free. You don't have to pay for this, and so therefore I'm going to sell to you because I'm a business. But also, I recognise that if I don't sell, I'm not helping people. And some of the biggest wins that my clients have experienced have happened because they have paid me money to be in my world, to have my power in their pocket, for them to be in the same room as really amazing people, to support them and move forward with their business. So if I'm not selling, I'm doing a disservice. And we are businesses. You got to sell, babe. And if you don't sell, you're not a business. So for that, as a little segue, I wasn't going to do this, but I am now because I've realised, I'm selling. I have got some banging offers right now. Well, not offers, actually. There's one thing that's brand new. It's called Action Sprint 2025, and it starts on Monday, the 6th of January. We meet for an hour going through all of the goals that we want to achieve for the year, but also how can we build as much momentum as possible into that right, I'm going to start again. Friggin' now. I don't know what was going on then. Right, let's start again. Action Sprint 2025 is your opportunity to put as much momentum into the first 14 days, first 4 weeks, once the kids go back to school, of January, to make your 2025 the most successful yet. I'm fluffing. You know why? Because it's almost Christmas. I'm supposed to be eating cheese and reading my books. That's why. But I do want to sell this to you. So I am, because it's really going to be amazing. I'm so excited about it. Number 1, I'm using Telegram for the first time for like an accountability group. Never done that before. But also doing a group coaching hour on the 6th of January. We plot stuff out, and then I'm going to be the power in your pocket for 14 days. So you can't hide. I'm going to be after you. I'm going to make sure I'm kicking you up the bum to make that momentum started. And the whole principle of this, if you have done the Productivity Academy, you know that it's more effort to get started than it is to keep going. So imagine if you put loads of energy into just those 14 days, how much momentum you can build for yourself going into the rest of the year. Imagine, with me by your side, the power in your pocket, and the support of everybody else in that group. So that is £97. It's the first one I'm doing, so I thought I'd do it as like a beta offer, and you can get that link in the show notes. 14 days, powerful. The other thing that I've got at the moment, and I don't know, by the time this goes out, the tickets might have sold out, but it will be about you'll know if they're sold out. The Vivid Business Club is 3 years old on February the 24th, and I am celebrating in London at King's Cross, and I have tickets available, and I'm actually selling them to people outside the Vivid Business Club because I want to. And we have sold tickets to people outside of the Vivid Business Club. And this opportunity to get together with really like-minded business owners, those with warrior spirit who want to make their dreams happen. It's going to be a mastermind kind of day. We're going to talk through business challenges, mindset, money, vision, strategy, all of that jazz. And then we're going to have a little party, which I'm very excited about. It's a whole day thing, and that tickets are £111 because I love the angel numbers. The other thing is I've got one space on the Dream Team Mastermind that starts on the 13th of January, and there is an episode dedicated to masterminds, which is episode, which one? Last Monday's. Come on, Claire, it's episode 285. I'm getting confused because we're down to one episode a week, aren't we? And I am also, I've up-leveled my one-to-one program, and currently 2024 prices are on offer. Prices go up on the 1st of January, and I have jigged around Amplify and Empower, which is my most I'm going to say intense. I suppose it is intense, but it's the most in-depth one-to-one program that I offer, and I've now called it Rocket. Rocket will follow my NASA program, like I said about NASA mode, where I will go through all of those vital foundations that you need in your business, ticking them off the list, supporting you to get them all in place so that you can build a business with proper solid foundations. So you can go high, high, high. I was writing about this in the book last week and looking at how deep the foundations are for the shard compared to how high it is. And if you want to know, the foundations for the shard are 54 meters deep and it's 310 meters tall. So the better the foundations, the higher you can go. So that's the principle about that. Right. Done. I've got to speed up through the rest now. Okay. But any of those, just send me an email, send me a DM. Let's get you sorted for 2025. Number 5, I wish I'd known 10 years ago how important it is to look after your future self in regards to productivity. I feel, and this is a really simple hack, and it's going to transform how you get things done. If every time you sit down, you say you're procrastinating or you want to doom scroll or you're avoiding something that, and we know success, the magic is in the work that you're avoiding. I want you to ask yourself, am I looking after my future self, or are you avoiding that little bit of pain instead of just getting it done? I wish I'd known more about looking after my future self. So that is a big thing. Look after your future self and you will see your productivity skyrocket. All of those jobs that you put to the end of the list that you pass over to the next day, or the ones that you're like, oh, I don't feel like doing that right now. Ask yourself, am I looking after my future self? And if the answer is no, get it done and your future self will thank you over and over again. I'm just thinking about all of those jobs that we bypass, like making sure we're on top of our cash flow, scheduling our marketing, etc., doing the strategy work. If we get that done, everything else gets so easy. And this is the thing. This is why foundations are so important. And this is why I'm developing the NASA program for the Rocket Coaching one-to-one program. I need to work that out a little bit. But just to help you to get into NASA mode, we will be going through all of the foundations, every tiny little one, all of the T's crossed, the dotting the I's, every tiny little thing that is in your business. We're going to tie in a beautiful bow and get it sorted for you. Right, number 6, I wish I'd known 10 years ago that the way you feel about money governs how you do business. Full stop. If you have quite a lack mentality around money and you don't appreciate all of the pennies and you don't look after the pennies, you will find that your business is not going to generate as much revenue as it could do if you were looking. A lot of people have this idea of like burying their head in the sand, but that doesn't work. For a business, you need to know where every penny is going and where every penny is coming from and how to get every penny. And those pennies make pounds, and those pounds make hundreds, and those hundreds make thousands, and you build up those layers of commitment to each of those little bits, if that makes sense. I think, and I've said this in a whole episode, but I imagine the pennies as little, like cute little children with their personalities that we need to look after. We can't just let them bum around going off on their own. We need to make sure that every single one of those pennies is accounted for. And when we do that, we get more control over our business. And, you don't have to do the bookkeeping yourself. You can hire someone to do that. But as CEO, and unless you've got a chief financial officer yet, have you? Probably not. You are the CFO. Therefore, you need to know what's going on with that money. And when you do, and you work out how to bring it in and you money map really confidently, that is going to bring success into your business. That is going to attract more business, because the energy you have around the money coming in already is going to build your confidence. Even if your sales and your revenue isn't where you want it at the moment, remember that first point about your KPIs and not basing all your success on just money. Okay, put that to one side. But looking at all of those tiny amounts, those, making sure that you are on it and being grateful for every sale and every opportunity, more will start to come in. Number 7, what did I write here? Okay. Number 7, I wish I'd known 10 years ago, if I lean into my magic, more comes. So this is another thing of like amplifying what you love to do, not what you feel like you should do, but concentrating on amplifying what you love to do will bring more money in. And then when that side of the business is doing really well, you can refine it so you can get really hot on who you're selling to and what you're selling. Number 8, I wish I'd known the importance of building a mailing list. 10 years ago, when I first started my business, Vivid Wire, I had no idea, and it would have been much bigger had I started with Claire Hill and all the coaching. I did start very quickly. But if you are running a business and you don't have a mailing list, that needs to be top priority for January. There is an episode, I believe I should have had it written down, shouldn't I? There was an episode all about why mailing lists, you must get a mailing list. So scroll down and find that episode and I'll talk about it more in that one. Number 9, it's all right to have, I wish I'd known 10 years ago, it's all right to have all of these amazing ideas, but you have to take action. Even if it is 5 minutes a day, taking action on your dreams will increase your self-trust. Your self-trust will increase your self-belief, and that will dim down that doubt, and you'll be able to overcome it and move forward. You don't need to be sitting down for 7 hours a day working solely on your dreams to take big action. Big action is made up of tiny steps. Layer those steps up and watch the momentum build around that inspiration and those ideas. And also, the bigger the idea and the bigger the dream, the bigger the procrastination and the bigger your doubt will feel in the way of it, because you'll be like, am I enough? Can I really get that done? Am I able to move forward? It feels so big, just one step at a time. And that's coming from me, who's just finished the first draft of a book. And I literally had a meltdown when I finished writing that book. So I was like, okay, I am so far away from the end point of this dream. And I think when I first started the book, I was like, right, I just need to write the book. And first I was like, I need to just do a skeleton plan. Did, right, now I just need to write 1,000 words a day. Did that. Then I was like, okay, I need to write 2,000 words a day. Okay, my deadline's coming up. I need to do 5,000 words a day. And then once I've written this draft, I hadn't really thought about afterwards. And I was like, shit, I think I'm going to have to end up doing 4 drafts. Then it needs to go to editors. And then I need to publish it. So I'm still so far away from achieving this dream, but I need to just one step at a time, just take one step at a time. And the first step I'm taking is not looking at that draft until January. Probably the end of January. I need some space from it so I can give it its best shot for the second draft. Okay. And number 10, the last lesson I wish I had known, or the last thing I wish I had known 10 years ago that I know now, is to focus on the gains and not the gaps, because the gap will still be there. The future version of me that I want to become changes almost every day. And that's not to say that I'm moving the goalposts all the time. I just love learning. I just love growing. I love becoming a better version of me every single day, because not only does it help me have a better life, have a better successful business, have a better friend, like my life is enriched by that, but how I show up as a mum and how I show up as a wife and a friend and a sister, that makes me want to be better all of the time. I know, a better friend than I was 10 years ago because of how I can listen better to what's going on in my friends' lives, and how I can advise and how I can hold space for them and be able to be there for them. Same as being a mum. Like, the mum I could have been 10 years ago is definitely different to the mum I am today. And I look at Jackson and I just celebrate him for who he is, and at the same time celebrating myself for who I am. And I want you to do that too, because focusing on the gains and focusing on how far you have come and celebrating all of those steps is going to build your confidence so that you can feel like a badass, so you act like a badass in your business. But if you constantly go, oh, why haven't I got there yet? Why am I not there yet? Why have I not got that money coming in? You are constantly beating yourself up, and that energy is shit energy. It is shit energy. No one wants to be around that shit energy. Hard facts. That is true. But if you are always focusing on how magic your life is and how magic it has got and how magical it will become, watch that magic come into your business. I promise you, babe. Focus on what you have gained instead of those gaps. And if you want to dive more into that, there was an amazing book by Dr. Ben Hardy and Daniel Bum. What's his name? Hold on. No, Dan Sullivan. What is his name? Yes, Dan Sullivan. Dr. Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan. The book is called The Gap and the Gain. Read it. It's fantastic. Okay. Have a wonderful Christmas, my love. If you're watching this or listening to this on the 23rd when it comes out, I will be back next week with another episode. Remember, we're only doing one episode a week. And next week, I'm going to be talking about what to focus on, really, to reflect and get out of your own way to make sure that 2025 is the best for you and your business. So I'm focusing on some really hard hitting questions that you can ask yourself, you can voice note to yourself, you can write about in order for you to move forward in 2025. All right. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. See you later. Thank you so much for listening to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. Written, produced and hosted by Claire Hill, and music has been composed by my brother, Bill Vick.